Foreword. Anna Shreeve, founder of the bakery. 10 years ago, my son asked me to help him open a medical cannabis business. At the time, the cannabis industry was a gray market, so I was initially hesitant about the idea. I had never used cannabis and had very little knowledge of the plant beyond the stigma I'd been sold about it. My son was incredibly persuasive, though. He revealed to me that he was a cannabis user, which I'd never known, and he explained how much it helped him manage his anxiety. Then he told me, "Mom, there's a lot of people using this product to battle cancer. Maybe someday we could be a part of curing cancer." How could I say no to that? My son had never been so passionate about something before, and I would do literally anything to help my children find their path in life. So I jumped in with both feet, knowing nothing. Today, our medical dispensary has grown into the bakery, which has 2 locations in the Seattle area, serving both medical and recreational customers. We've won multiple High Times Cannabis Cups and worked with the University of Washington and the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance in palliative care. My thoughts and view of cannabis have changed enormously over the years, and my passion for this work has grown to match my son's. That's why I was so excited when I learned Charlena was writing a book. The cannabis industry is still new and developing, and we're at a fork in the road. As retailers, we have 2 paths we can follow. One is the path of greed, in which we are willing to sacrifice our employees' well-being and even our customers' best interests in the name of profit. Ironically, though, when you prioritize profit over everything else, you damage your customer experience, which ultimately leads to reduced revenue in the long term. This path thus leads to both harm and mediocrity. The other path is the Charlena Berry path, in which the goal is to be the best retailers we can be, combining retail best practices with a passion for cannabis and for helping people. On this path, we prioritize creating an excellent customer experience that empowers our customers to make the best choices for themselves. We step up as leaders and work to elevate everyone in our industry at all levels, particularly marginalized individuals who have been most negatively impacted by the war on drugs and the stigma of cannabis. This path leads to sustainable success and growth while doing good for our workers, our industry, and our society. Like many people in the cannabis industry, I didn't come from a retail background. I worked in media, both radio and television, for over 30 years, first as a salesperson, then director of sales, and finally as a general manager of a CBS-owned and operated television property. Especially in television, everything was constantly changing and progressing, not too different from the cannabis industry today, in which nothing is ever static, with new legislation, evolving customer trends, and advances in the science of cannabis. Being a Hispanic woman in this largely male and white-dominated space added additional challenges to an already high-pressure job, managing many people and being responsible for more than $100 million in revenue. Many times I felt like the token brown person or the token woman in the room. I felt I had to work harder and do more to prove myself. Being in that environment taught me a lot of resiliency and adaptability, which have been invaluable to me in the cannabis industry. But what it didn't teach me was how to run a retail store. I've learned many lessons through trial and error and hard-won experience, but I wish I instead had Charlena's book when I opened my first store. Charlena has distilled her many years of retail experience and knowledge into practical strategies and tips for success. What makes her book really special, beyond the incredible and valuable advice she offers, is the inspiration she offers. I've known and worked with Charlena for 3 years, and I've found that she respects all people equally and has a special talent for connecting people and elevating businesses in a way that lifts everyone up together. She has a powerful vision for our industry, and with enough Charlena berries, I truly believe we can change not just the cannabis industry, but our world. There's a perception in this industry that if you have enough money, you can succeed. To an extent, that may be true. But to really compete in the long term, you also need true, authentic passion. This passion is often found in people who come from marginalized backgrounds, those who have long recognized the benefits of cannabis and who have been ostracized for utilizing this plant-based medicine for their wellness. In my opinion, these people are creative geniuses. They recognized the truth about cannabis and fought for it, despite the stigma and everybody telling them they were wrong. We need people like this in the industry. They believe in cannabis on a very deep level. They have a love for the plant and a drive to create the highest quality, safest products for the best price. Because of the historical context surrounding the stigma of cannabis, you'll find that these individuals are often people of color. Unfortunately, due to systemic racism, these people tend to have a more challenging time raising the money needed to start a cannabis business. It's so important for us to invest in and elevate these individuals because they bring things to our industry that money can't buy: purpose, resiliency, and passion. Incredible things happen when people with money partner with people who have a passion for the plant. At Bakery, we are committed to elevating multi-generational users of cannabis, and the majority of our workers are people of color. We have virtually no turnover and have several employees who have been with us for 6 to 10 years. These people are connected to the plant and understand cannabis on a deep level, and I know they are a huge part of why customers love us and how we've won multiple High Times Cannabis Cups. Most rewarding for me is the opportunity to provide a quicker path to success for people who perhaps feel the way I did working in broadcast management, that because of their race or their background, they have to work harder and do more to achieve success. This blend of money and passion is Charlena's vision for our industry as well. While you may not know it from looking at her, she comes from a marginalized background herself. In this book, she gives you a look inside not just her brain, but her soul, and I think you will see bits and pieces of yourself in her story. We have thousands of choices every single day, but if we only see the future through our past, we won't recognize all the opportunities available to us. So if you've ever felt like you're not good enough because of your circumstances or background, I hope seeing Charlena's success and passion will inspire you and give you the confidence you need. There is so much potential in the cannabis industry. We have the opportunity for huge financial rewards as retailers, but we need to do things the right way. Greed is often the default for businesses, but I don't want that. Charlena doesn't want that. And I don't think the cannabis plant wants that either. The plant doesn't want us to cause harm. It was meant to heal, which I learned from personal experience, because 3 years after my son and I opened our medical dispensary, my husband got cancer. It was stage 4 and had spread to multiple locations: his throat, thyroid, and lungs. He had 3 surgeries and had a lung removed, but there was still cancer in his body, including a spot on his remaining lung. He was pre-signed up for a clinical trial, and that's when we convinced him to go fully vegan and begin daily dosing of a full-spectrum CBD oil. Within a few months, the spot on his lung went away. His oncologist literally said, "He's our miracle for the year." He's been cancer-free for 6 years now. So I guess my son was right. Maybe we were a part of helping cure cancer, for one person at least. This plant can better people's lives, and that's what we need to do too. We can be an industry that uses and takes advantage of people, or we can be an industry that improves our customers' and employees' lives and betters the world. In picking up this book, you've already taken your first step to creating a better store and a better industry. Cannabis never should have been stigmatized in the first place, so let's work together, become leaders, and break the stigma.